How we doing? How we doing? This is Destination Denver, Colorado, and today I'm giving you 13 reasons to consider moving to Denver, Colorado in 2024, and we're starting right now. All right, this is Destination Denver, Colorado. I'm your host, Jimmy Evertson. Listen, if you're interested in learning all the ins and outs, pros and cons to moving to or around Denver, Colorado, then this is a channel for you. So that subscribe button and notification icon you see on your screen, make sure you click on that as I'm dropping new videos for you each and every week. And as much as I try to be a little educational here on camera, I'm also a licensed mortgage broker covering the entire state of Colorado and team with some of Denver's most talented realtors. And we're helping people move here each and every day. So the number and email you see on your screen, know that I am always the person answering your phone calls, answer your texts, answer your emails, there when and if you need me. Now that we're done with that fun-filled stuff, let's get to what we're here for, and that is 13 reasons to consider moving to Denver, Colorado in 2024. All right, so you can't start a conversation about Denver, Colorado without starting with the outdoors. At the end of the day, we are right next to the Rockies. We enjoy our sunshine, all of those things we're gonna get into. So first and foremost is the plethora, like I'm in the Three Amigos, of outdoor activities in Colorado. Whether you are a hiker, biker, skier, snowshoer, whether you like going to the park, playing volleyball, kickball, drinking hand kickball is my personal favorite. Anything you wanna do outdoors, odds are, outside of jumping into the ocean, Colorado is going to have it for you. And I'll tell you this as somebody who moved back to the state, was raised here, left for a while, came back. I wasn't outdoorsy at first. It took me a while to kind of find my niche, find the things I enjoy. I truly believe there is something for everybody, no matter what your season is. If you're into warm weather, cold weather, whatever it is, you're gonna find something that you gravitate towards. Second up, we've got a robust, strong economy here in Denver, and we have for multiple decades. So Denver used to really lean on oil and gas. That was our big hub. Now you have tech, finance, education, healthcare. Oil and gas still plays a part. So you have a lot of different economic factors or economic foundations, if you will, in the city of Denver. And we've had that stable economy going on 2 decades and working on number 3. Third up, man, we got culture here in Denver. At least we like to think so. Between our museums, the botanical gardens, the orchestra, a lot of different cultural things. Our art scene continues to expand, whether you're going over to 5 Points or Rhino, as some people will call it, whether you're going to West Colfax, they've got an art district there. So I think the culture factor in Denver and the surrounding area continues to expand. And a lot of that is based out of Denver, and some of it is that mix of people moving here and creating. That's right, so cultured. I'm gonna get one of those cigarettes that has the stick on it. So classy. Fourth up, and I moved this one up in the list because I get excited by it, but that's all of the athletics, all the sports in Denver. Now, let's start with the bad. We have the Colorado Rockies, worst minor league team in Major League Baseball. I say that in every video I could talk about them. We have the Denver Broncos, who we're just, I guess, hoping that they lose at this point. But we've got the world champion Denver Nuggets. We've got the Stanley Cup competitive Colorado Avalanche. We got the Colorado Mammoth, our lacrosse team that I believe just won their 3rd championship. We've got the Colorado Rapids soccer. I mean, if there's an athletic competition, about the only thing we don't have here is a PGA golf event. We don't have golf. We have great golf here, but we don't have pro golf here yet. Outside of that, if you like sports, Denver is all over it year round. And other than the Broncos and the Rockies, we managed to be competitive at it too. It's awesome. Fifth, and I guess I could have put this after number 1, because again, if we're talking about outdoors, we have to talk about the climate, but Denver gets our ton of sunshine. Now, we like to say 300 days, and I believe that's 300 days in which at some point during the day, the sun hits the ground without clouds. Doesn't mean that it's like cloudless days. Truly, that statistic runs somewhere between 250 and 260 really clear days where we get sunshine. The main thing about our climate, and obviously there are some detractors, there's winter, it snows, but Denver gives you, and the Denver surrounding area, gives you a lot of excuses to want to be outside year round. So even if you're dealing with a tough fall, a tough winter, a wet spring, there's still multiple days mixed in there that you want to get outside and do things. Our climate pretty spectacular. Number 6, I love counting with my hands. I got knocked on a video for that, is our educational opportunities. And that's all the way through. You know, obviously we have some great public schools. You're going to want to do your due diligence. I always tell people when it comes to different regions, some highly rated schools. And then as you get into high school, whether it's public, private, a lot of opportunities there. And then our public and private universities as you get into higher education. Among them, the University of Denver, or DU. I always say this, we like to flip our letters. The University of Colorado, or CU. See, we did it twice, up in Boulder, but they also have a campus in Denver. You got the Colorado School of Mines in Golden, great campus. Got to give a shout out to Colorado State University. I have a lot of folks that love that university. That is up in Fort Collins, a couple hours from us, but still within range. And you have other universities, Metro, you've got Arapahoe Community College, Red Rocks College, a lot of different universities that you can attest to. Education, definitely a plus here in Denver. I should start naming off community colleges for you because I know that you're all thinking about moving to Denver so that you can go to Red Rocks Community College. I mean, I went there for a semester. What? 7, and I think Denver's doing its best here, but we talk about our quality of life. We talk about some of the physical, mental initiatives of these communities. And a lot of that ties back to things that I have mentioned, you know, getting outdoors, doing things, being around people, but also whether it's, you know, sustainable energy initiatives, whether it is, again, access to mental health, some different aspects there, some as light, I don't want to say light, but some, you know, just like going to yoga in the park, or these different amenities that they have, and some obviously far more serious and professional. But Denver really takes that seriously and has looked at various initiatives to enhance that. I know there's somebody watching this video right now going, oh, thanks, jerk. I need therapy, and you're telling me to go to yoga. I mean, sometimes I stretch and feel better. Big number 8, I'm going to tie in microbreweries, breweries, and dining. So Colorado in general has a ton of breweries. Denver, surrounding area, no different. There are breweries everywhere. That continues to expand, and I think it can be hit or miss. There are some really good breweries, and then there's some that I think are just eh. And tied into that is our dining scene, which I believe over the last decade plus has really come leaps and bounds. Now, are we this huge foodie scene like you might feel in a Miami, in a New York, in an LA? No, I don't think we are there yet. But when we talk about the food scene here in Denver, there are new competitive restaurants. There's new ideas. We can feel a little bougie. There's times where the price tags on some of these restaurants are a little aggressive in my opinion. But I think we've made a lot of progress in that place. And I think that someone coming to live in Denver, again, unless you're coming from a highly foodie central location, you're going to be pleased with what you see for dining. So between the breweries and dining, we got you covered. 9th up, and I really love this one because I mean, it's just a fact, and that is the music scene in Denver. It's outstanding. Now, again, I kind of feel like the music scene in Denver was similar, in surrounding areas, was similar to the food scene. Like, we had some good things going, but it wasn't like great. I always felt like other places around the country I lived had a better live music scene. Denver has caught up and surpassed. So you have your givens. You have Red Rocks Amphitheater, maybe 10, 15 minutes from me, or I mean, let's say 25, 30 minutes from downtown Denver. Red Rocks stands on its own. It's one of the most world-renowned amphitheaters that, I mean, you're gonna find anywhere, and gets some of the most spectacular artists you're ever gonna find. But tied into that, I mean, you've got other arenas and larger facilities. I mean, you can go down to Ball Arena where the Nuggets play for a concert. You can go to Fiddler's Green, which is a great place down near the Denver Tech Center, Greenwood Village, for a concert. But it's some of the more intimate places. Ogden Theater, Bluebird. There's a place called Larimer Lounge, obviously on Larimer. That's really intimate. Just kind of this smaller place that's a bar, and then you tuck back into this room and you're there. I mean, I don't know if the capacity is 50 people or 100. It's just kind of one of those tiny things where you're just surrounded by people, great music, and they always seem to have great acts there and at others. So the music scene in Denver, my humble opinion, spectacular. And I know that there are people that have visited or lived in Denver that are watching this that are going, oh, you missed this place and you missed this place. There are so many different theaters and venues to go to. It's hard to list all of them off the top of my head. Number 10, and come on, how can you not talk about it? Denver's dog friendly as heck. And I know people will say it, talk about it, but man, you gotta live it. So I have a couple dogs myself. And I mean, whether I'm going to parks, dog parks, or something on leash, whether I'm going to some of the off-leash, larger areas where you can basically hike and run around, do all sorts of stuff, and your dog's just there with you. Whether you're going to some of the breweries I mentioned, a lot of them are dog-friendly. You'll see dogs sitting on patios. You'll see dogs out and about. And essentially, I feel like, this isn't like, I can't prove this, but I feel like if the business can get away with having dogs, they allow it. Like they're pretty chill about that. Now listen, if you're not a dog person and you don't like dogs, Denver doesn't want you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be so rude. I'm kidding. We want you. We just don't talk about dogs when you come. Just let that slide. 11, and I'm past the point where I can use my fingers for you judgmental types. 11, Denver has, and metro area has, accessibility to some of the best weekend getaways you can get. And this is something that people like myself who live here in Denver, we talk about this. How lucky are we that we can drive, we can jump in our car and we can drive up to these great towns, Breckenridge, Vail, Aspen, Estes Park is like less than an hour from me. You have all of these places, whether you're going up there in the winter, you're a skier, snowboarder, whatever, or you just like mountain towns in the winter. Some people, not all people ski. Or if you're getting up there in the summertime for hiking, you're getting up there in the fall to see the leaves change. We have access to all of these places. Now, it's a bit farther of a drive if you want to get out to, Utah, or you want to get down to Santa Fe. We'll have a lot of people there. But there's just these great areas that you can visit just by, again, a quick 2, 3, maybe 4-hour drive on the long end. And these are places that a lot of people around the nation, if not the world, are flying to Denver to go see. And we just jump in our car, make sure I get a little bit of gas, and I'm there. Number 12, and while some of these folks may drive me crazy with the way they ride, Denver and the surrounding area is very bike friendly. Now, I want to be specific about this because I get that question a lot from callers. Am I able to bike wherever I want to go in Denver? And I do think that there's areas, if you want to bike like to and from work or to and from the things you want to do, it's going to be specific to where you live. It's not as though you can just bike anywhere in Denver. Denver can be flat, but there's places that could be very up and down. I don't know how you feel about that. But when it comes to just the accessibility, whether it's, I almost said hiking trails for your bikes, biking trails, lanes on roads, just giving accessibility. There's different areas where, you could ride your bike from Highlands Ranch all the way out to Aurora and Lakewood all the way out to Golden. So there's all these different trails, all these different access points. And I'm a mountain biker myself, talking to people who, whether they're street bikers, mountain bikers, anything in between, hybrids, you name it, they love Denver and the surrounding areas for biking. It's very biker friendly. We have those lanes though, so that some of you don't ride your bike 5 miles an hour in front of my car when I'm late to a meeting. It's my fault, but you're slowing me down. And 13th, and this may be obvious to a lot of people, but it's the geographical diversity of Denver and the surrounding area. And what I mean by that is, Denver itself is it's a high plains desert. It's pretty flat. If you go east of Denver, it's pretty flat. Obviously, as you move west, you hit the Rocky Mountains. It becomes mountainous. When we talk about geographical diversity, you could live on the plains. You could live on the Front Range. You could live where you see the mountains very nicely, or you could be in the mountains. You could be in the mountains deep, where it's going to take you an hour to get down to Denver. You could be in the mountains where you can get to Denver in 15 minutes. It really caters to so many different types of lifestyle. I've said this, if Denver could as I joked earlier about the ocean, if Denver could magically have an ocean somewhere near it, I don't know if you could get more perfect than that. But as it stands, if there's a lifestyle you want to live, whether it's in the mountains, Front Range, in the city, in the sticks, in the suburbs, Denver and the metro area has it for you. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's 13, and I chopped it down from 25, 30 plus reasons why you might consider Denver. And if you have some yourself, I would love to hear them. That's the perfect opportunity to hit me up, whether it's a call, a text, an email, the number on your screen. I'm always the person answering those here, when and if you need me. This is Destination Denver, Colorado. I'm your host, Jimmy Everett. That was 13 reasons to consider moving to Denver, Colorado in 2024. Until I see you next time, peace.